show number 15 of the London Bridge Talk Show, where we bridge the generation gaps with 3 generations of Gabby Gays. Bridging the generation gaps are your hosts, Sean Chandler, Donny Winter, and Ace Lundon. As the elder at age 80, I shall moderate the show. With Sean at age 50 and Donny at, let's say, 25 or thereabouts, let's see how the generations think, whether alike or really separately. Welcome to the show, folks. Please fasten your seatbelts. No topic is taboo, and we warn you in advance that all 3 of us do have a potty mouth. Oh, yes, it's true. There is so much good in the worst of us and so much bad in the best of us. It is hard to tell which of us ought to reform the rest of us. And folks, where there is no room for debate, this means there is no communication. And guess what lies ahead? Always. No room for debate is the basis for the start of all feuds, family feuds, whatever, wars. Family household problem, tribes, clans, and even countries. No room for debate. And when we say this no room for debate, it means that both sides believe they alone have the answers. Therefore, there's no need for debate since you already have the answers. Or even communication through family-friendly chats or letters, nothing. Sort of reminds me of a couple of parties I know about these days. Yes, even a party can be a worthless, no debate party and accomplish nothing. Political correctness, it's called. Political correctness to me is a total infringement upon the freedom of an individual to be all that they can be or might be. Give them the freedom. Don't be politically correct and be afraid to disagree and argue or whatever with them. To hell with the PC. This way you find out your people are either going to end up being angels or assholes. And that's a good thing to know in life. Yes, it is. So, my friends, from the East Coast and the Midwest, Sean Chandler and Donny Winter. I call them friends because, well, I think they are. Hello, guys.
Hi, guys. Hi, listeners.
Hello, beautiful people.
Yes. So, what about this? Are you afraid to debate?
Well, I'm just
afraid to debate. No.
You're what?
I'm not afraid to debate.
No. Okay.
Well, I'm just thinking that Angels and Assholes would be a good title for Dan Brown's next novel.
Actually, it would be. Right down his line. Yep. Okay. But it's the truth, guys. If we're being so politically correct and say, "Oh, I can't disagree with her or with him," that's not not proper. Then we don't know what they're thinking, and they don't know what I'm thinking because we are not communicating, and that just what's that? The ass chap slap or whatever it is that you do, Sean?
Slap?
What is it called?
It's called an ass chap. But I like ass chap slap, too.
Okay. Yeah, we somehow or other, we have to get over ourselves and be willing to talk with Bill O'Reilly. Oh, my God. Or even, what's that black minister's name? Al Sharpton. We have to be willing to talk with them, no matter if they're far left and far right or whatever. How do we know where they are if we don't even communicate with them or listen to them and hear where they're coming from? And we'll find out if they're an angel or an asshole. I do have my belief about both of them, but I'm not going to say it. I'm going to be politically correct.
You give that whole speech and then say you're going to be politically correct.
Ironic, right?
Right. This is a lot like, I think I discussed this or brought it up like 4 or 5 shows ago. I called it unlike shaming.
Yes.
You know, when you go through Facebook and you see like, if one of the people that you're normally like in line with their political beliefs and their values, if you disagree with something, you're afraid to say, I disagree with this. Because you're afraid they're going to freak out and unfriend you and be mad at you, and you're going to get a nasty message from them. So, I mean, you can always just ignore it, but I feel you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did post something about Bill O'Reilly that was positive, and boy, did I catch Hail Columbia.
Oh, God. It's a shitstorm, huh?
Yeah, oh my goodness. And I asked any of them, had they listened to him? No. I said, okay, you proved your point. You don't know shit from Shinola about Bill O'Reilly or what he believes, you know?
Well, I think that I think a lot of that just comes from the most true hardcore advocates and activists. They're just they have a very, very hardcore cause, and they're afraid to say, you know, maybe a differing opinion or point of view wouldn't hurt to hear every now and then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And people like that, to me, aren't true activists, though, because I feel like one requirement an activist should have is being able to listen as well as speak.
Oh, for sure.
I agree. I don't know. I agree with you, Ace. I really do. And I've just gotten to the point to where I try not to post anything on Facebook unless I think it's profound or funny.
Yeah.
And anything political, I'm just going to piss too many people off. I have family members who are Republicans. I have friends who are Republicans. And then I have a lot of Democrats and far left activist friends who probably don't like that, but whatever, you know?
Yeah. You know, we do have to at least talk to our family and be honest with them. And no matter if they kick us out, you know, it's important, that type of honesty and that type of debate. I don't know. Did you ever fight with your dad? Or because you're both guys. Maybe you fought with your mother. I don't know. Did you ever fight with your parents when you were younger?
Yeah.
I still do sometimes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. One of mine is dead, and the other one I haven't spoken to in 30 years. So if that tells you anything.
Sounds like you come from a pretty normal family.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I think that when you open your mind, you're going and you hear what the other side has to say. You may not vilify them as much as you did before. You may surprise yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
They may surprise you. They may say something that really, you know, maybe they're, 90% Republican and it all has to do with finances and gun control and things like that, but they're for gay marriage. You don't know. And if you're just going to follow groupthink and just think whatever you're supposed to think according to whoever it is that dictates how you believe or what you believe in life, then, it's the same thing with religion. Sometimes there are people who are religious who they don't have the right wing sort of ultra conservative viewpoint of that we would think they would have.
I watched a religious show because I was curious. I figured it was a Pentecostal show because I don't know why I figured that, but the music, I guess. They've got great music, the Pentecostals do. Like the black churches, they've got great music. Anyway, I watched, and it was one of these ministers that he would go, he'd like kazam, he'd throw his hands out, and there'd be 3 or 4 people in the front rows that would pass out on the chairs. Pass out. I'm saying, good God. No wonder they were called the Holy Rollers, Now, they don't like to be called the Holy Rollers these days, Assembly of God or Pentecostal and all of those evangelical far left or far right churches. They don't like being called Holy Rollers because it was a black mark on them, they felt. So they've changed to Assembly of God and other names. But they're still Holy Rollers, passing people out in their things. I've often wondered how they do that. I've thought about the possibility of mass hypnotism, because I don't know if you've ever been hypnotized, but it does work. And there are people that are very susceptible, and then there are people that are not susceptible at all. But if somehow or other the church leaders got together and they picked people in the audience and did an actual hypnosis on them without them realizing what was happening, and then it comes time for the service and the minister gets up there and goes, Shazam! And they pass out, then that makes some sense. But other than that, it's not that the Holy Spirit is blasting them, out of their seats.
Mm-hmm.
I have a theory. My theory, of course, I have a theory. I have a theory. My theory is that I think that to me is just a release. Everyone needs some sort of a release. Some people have lots of sex. Some people drink. Some people do drugs. Some people run. I think it's just an opportunity to just sort of let everything out. The speaking in tongues, just the stress that you're dealing with all week. You're free to say whatever you want, cry.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my theory of it. I mean, it's never happened to me, but yeah, I think it's silly when I watch it, but that's just my theory.
I have attended services like that. A little scary. Yeah.
I have as well.
Yeah.
When I was much
younger. I have not, thankfully.
Could you just see Donny at a service like that?
Oh, yeah. He'd be passing out.
I'd be like peeing on myself.
The eye rolls would be audible. We literally hear his eyes click into the top of his eye socket as he's rolling his eyes like, oh, jeez.
And yet, Sean, a lot of the generation in Donny's group, they're latching on to that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You're right. My niece is around Donny's age, and she goes to church and is religious.
Yeah, I have a niece that all of a sudden, after she had her child, she started going to church. And I thought, oh boy. So I asked her brother. I says, where does she go? He says, I don't go there. I went once. He says, no, it's not for me. But if she likes it, I guess she likes it. That she's doing something that she thinks is right for her daughter,
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of people will start going to church after they have kids, or they'll want their kid christened or baptized or something like that. Is that just is that insurance or something?
Yes, it is, I guess.
Just in case my child has done something pious, therefore heaven.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I've used this before, the quote from St. Augustine. Love God and do what you please, he said. And I really thought a lot about that. Because let's say that you both love your God, Creator God. And if you do love your Creator God, what else do you need in life? You don't need a preacher telling you what to do. You don't need a book telling you what to do. You don't need anything outside of love. And the basis for all of both in the Christian and some of the other religions is always love. Love is the one thing that can't be denied. And that's why even when Patrick and I got married, when Pastor said he was going over the ritual, he said that, till till death do you part, and Patrick goes, whoa, and he looks up and he says, what's wrong? He says, do you believe that love is eternal? And the pastor says, of course. Okay, that means love is eternal. So I don't want that our relationship of being in love here to be one that ends when one of us dies. So you take that out of the script and put in there till love is no more. And the pastor liked that, and I think he's used it since, because that is really where it's at, till love is no more. So, as St. Augustine said, love God. Do what you please. Why? How can he say do what you please? Because your better self, so to speak, when you love your God, your better self will let you know exactly what to do or say or whatever. You dumb shit, you almost ran into me. Oh, where did that come from? Oh, not my better self, that's for sure. Thank you, St. Augustine. So I better not say that. Love tells us what to do and what to say, I think. You can disagree with me all you want.
Well, I think it's really, I don't know, everybody's vision or version of God is just so different that it's hard for, I know you say that at the end of our shows, and it's hard for me to latch onto that. It's as a recovering alcoholic, when I go to AA meetings, that's the same issue I have with God there. Mm-hmm. The closest I've ever come to having some sort of a feeling that there is an interpretation of God is when I read this book by a lady named Marianne Williamson. It's called A Return to Love. And it's based upon a sort of an interpretation of the Bible that's symbolic. It's a religion that's called A Course in Miracles. And it came out and people have used it. And then this lady, Marianne Williamson, really got involved in it. And she's written several books based upon it. And it says that there is an interpretation of Jesus and of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. It's all I don't want to say metaphor, but symbolic to something that goes on in our mind. Like one represents love, one represents grace, when one represents connection. I mean, I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but what I'm saying is that it's really, really difficult for some people what if somebody is an atheist and they hear that? How do you reconcile that? Mm-hmm. You say that quote.
Well, can't you believe that an atheist is capable of love?
Yeah, they are definitely capable of love, okay. But when you say love God, well, you don't believe in God.
Yeah, but you're connecting that love to some sort of higher power. Not everyone necessarily believes in higher power, unless you're arguing that love is the higher power itself. I guess.
Okay. It's entirely possible, Donny. Mm-hmm.
Which I think that would be interesting.
See what happens when you tell us we can argue with you.
Yes. You're both bitches.
We're classy bitches.
Yes.
While we're on the subject of religion, I had printed up something. This is like something I printed up 3 weeks ago, because I'm always on the lookout for stuff that we can talk about on the show. Before we brought on Jeannie Allen, who I really liked, by the way.
Oh, yeah. A great
shout out to Jeannie.
Yeah.
Props to Jeannie, yo.
Folks, if you missed show number 14, you get your little butt back on the computer and pull it up again, because it was an excellent show. I tell you, learned so much.
I liked it. I felt like I could see her having a lot of gay friends, because I felt like her struggle to make her what she was dealing with known and legible and unstigmatized and not made fun of. I felt a lot of similarities to the gay rights movement that we went through in the 60s and 70s.
Yes, for sure. Yep.
Yeah. So anyways, I actually had printed this out. It's from the thinkprogress.org website, and it's about a good old North Carolina's controversial bathroom law, HB2.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Continues to roll along. But so we can be, a balanced show. I hate saying fair and balanced because that's a Fox News thing, but so we could be a balanced show. This particular article states that there, in addition to businesses, musicians, and even Donald Trump, expressing disapproval for the legislation, that at a rally on April 25th, again, old article, sorry, but I liked it, there were several religious leaders that were there. A sizable, there were, let me see here. I'm trying to see. People wearing yarmulkes, stoles, bearing collars, with signs reading, "My faith doesn't discriminate." And let me see, there's a couple of, they mentioned a couple specifically. There were state dignitaries who delivered speeches to the crowd demanding that the state legislature strike the law, such as Reverend William Barber, head of the North Carolina NAACP and leader of the state's faith-rooted Moral Mondays movement. Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah.
He called it an unholy alliance of racism, classism, and homophobia. Also, Reverend Jasmine Beach Ferreira, an openly gay United Church of Christ minister, LGBT activist, and Democratic nominee for the county commissioner. She also spoke to the crowd. Let me see here. Sorry, just turning the page. A conference of the United Methodist Church released a statement early in the day asking elected officials to strike down the law as soon as possible. The Episcopal Diocese of North Carolina rallied against HB2 the day it was passed. Metropolitan Community Church, a denomination that is overwhelmingly LGBT, kind of preaching to the choir, but still, they sent a letter to lawmakers referring to the bill as scare tactics. Reformed Jewish rabbis from several North Carolina synagogues, Reverend Edward Davis, conference minister of the North Carolina-based Southern Conference of the United Church of Christ, UCC, equated the bill to racially segregated bathrooms in the 60s when restrooms bore signs reading "whites only."
I remember those days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, my point is that and this goes back to Ace sort of listening to the perceived enemy, if you will, or the perceived antagonist.
Yeah.
There are people, if you listen and if you pay attention and if you open your mind and hear, there are people who are out there who you might perceive to be thinking one thing who are actually thinking something else.
Very true.
Yeah, definitely.
On our show. So there we go.
This whole thing with LGBT, I do think the T should be separate, but that hasn't happened yet. I think it's ahead, though. And I think it has to be ahead because the T group is very, very different from the LGB group. Well, Sean, you know that I met Christine Jorgensen, the first transgender, when she came back from, I think, Africa, wasn't it? Yeah, Africa. Anyway, I've come to this point at this time now, especially with all the bathroom shit going on. Excuse that expression.
Nice on Ace.
Yeah. I can see that it is perfectly legitimate for, let's say, a guy who is really a girl and wants to use the women's restroom. I can see that they would like that. But as long as they have their cock and balls, I think no. They shouldn't be using the women's restroom. And I don't know how it would go for the women's side, but I think they'd have a problem too walking into a men's restroom if they still have tits and they don't shave and they don't do the male things. They haven't gotten that far yet. Now, I do realize that it's all based on money, money, money. And when we get to that point, I don't know, take the government or whatever, when we get to the point where these dear people can have that operation to make them physically who they are inside, I think we've still got a long way to go in this problem with the not only the restrooms, but just sorting all of that out and learn. And I hate to say this, but some of my best friends are transgenders. Yeah.
Well, I don't know really why it would be such a big deal if you have male genitalia, but you identify as female, because you would just, let's just break it down into what it is. You would go and sit on the commode and do your business sitting down in a stall. So why would that be a big deal?
Well, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't. Well,
you just said that people shouldn't.
You see, in those women's bathrooms, not that I frequent the women's bathrooms, but I have done janitorial work, and the women's bathrooms are different from the men's bathrooms. They don't shut the door. They sit in open stalls. And to upgrade the bathrooms to accommodate all of that would just be multi-millions of dollars nationally for all the places. Man. So there are things we've got to work our way through.
Well,
now in the men's bathrooms, sure that all the stalls got doors that shut because men don't want another man to look at their pee-pee. Oh no.
I don't know. I've been in women's bathrooms before, and they've had shut stalls too.
Really? Some of them have, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe you should go into a woman's bathroom one of these days and see how they've upgraded.
Yeah, they may have upgraded. That's true. We don't have a train station here with a bathroom that's public and such, so I don't know.
Yeah. It's. I don't know. I think that when you were saying that it's that we should drop the T out of LGBT, then I don't know. What if the person who has the sex change or changes to the sex that they are more comfortable with or behaves as such is actually gay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a possibility too, you see. And the general public needs to learn all about this type of thing. It needs to be talked about a lot. And the word has to get out. It hasn't gotten out totally yet. It got a little boost with what's her face, Caitlin, but that's about it.
Not that that's even a good boost, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. There's a new show on TLC. It's called I Am Jazz, and it's about a transgendered young lady who goes to high school. Her name is Jazz. Actually, I think she went to high school and then she was elected prom queen. a year or two ago.
Hmm.
And I think she's going to college, and it follows how her family deals with it all, and she deals with it. I'm very excited to see it.
Well, you and I both know, or I think everybody knows, that so many of the greatest looking female models are transgender ladies.
I don't know that.
You didn't? Oh, yes. And you get in the modeling world, and you're walking through all these beauties, and they're beautiful. All the women are. But then all of a sudden you realize that some of the ones that are really, really beautiful are also transgender.
There's a lot to be, for lack of a better phrase, to be tamped down with the whole transgendered element that's going on right now, and the whole cause. And we're still in the middle of it. I think that we do need to have a little patience on both sides and a little tolerance.
We're in the beginning only, I think.
I think open-mindedness too, definitely.
Yeah. A little room for debate,
There's that debate again.
Well, before we go forward, I think it's important that we do our commercials first, okay?
Oh, I suppose so, Donny. Yes.
Thank you to Sean for reminding me. I almost forgot. Okay, so let's give a big thank you to our sponsors. First off, we'd like to thank an awesome company run by our brilliant engineer, Miraculous Mike Means, and his lovely wife, our girl, Juanita, for great stage and theatrical design and jewelry design, along with audio and video editing. Please visit their website at eclectic-resources.net. Also, equally as fabulous, let's thank our friends at Diversity Rules Magazine, a wonderful LGBT-focused online magazine that can be found at diversityrulesmagazine.com. And also, they have an app for the smartphone, so definitely go check that out. We are thrilled to now be featured on the Next Big Thing Radio, which is a terrific podcasting website. And essentially, they feature a lot of funny and informative shows from our fellow podcasters. So please visit that at nextbigthingradio.net. Also, they have an app for the phone, so definitely check that out. If you'd like to learn more about the legendary Ace Lundon, you can visit his blog, Scattered Thoughts from a Scrambled Brain, where he waxes funny and philosophical thoughts on a wide range of topics, and you can find that at acelundon.wordpress.com. If you like YouTube videos and you like watching people talk on YouTube, if you want to visit my YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/user/Johnny Winter. If you want to learn more about Sean, you can visit his writer's website at seanwchandler.com, or follow him on Twitter at Sean at the Flash. And of course, we have our Lundon Calling website, lundon-calling.com. And don't forget to also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/LondonBridge. Alrighty.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Thank you, Don.
You're so good at that. I'm so proud.
Yes.
I'm curtsying over here.
Do you guys want no passe for effort for this show?
Heck yeah.
Okay. Ace, are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. This involves, and you guys probably heard about this, the San Diego Padres and their game last weekend.
Yes.
Oh, hail.
Oh, do you know what I'm talking about? No, it sounds like Ace.
I think I do.
Okay. Well, the San Diego Gay Men's Chorus had made arrangements to sing the national anthem at the Padres game against the Dodgers. And they went out there. There were like 100 of them. And there was a lot of them. And they were on the field. And apparently when they went to pull up the music, the wrong music was played, and it was a sort of, I think they call it a backing track. It's a track that somebody will sing to. It's a track of somebody's own voice that they'll sing to, so that it will have more power within the stadium.
So it had like backing vocals or something.
Well, it was the actual singer. It's the actual singer or singers singing the song, but it just provides more heft.
But it was a woman's singer.
Yeah, that's it. we were just clarifying what a backing track is. Sorry, but he played the DJ actually played the previous game's backtracking vocal, which was a lady singing, and didn't stop it. Now, a lot of people are like, well, is it really okay to stop playing the Star Spangled Banner? But it just left the San Diego Gay Men's Choir standing out there, and they played it till the very end, and they didn't sing, obviously. And then this is all according to what they're saying in this article from advocate.com, they walked off the field apparently to boos and jeers and not so nice comments being yelled from the stadium. This was at Petco Park, I believe.
Yeah.
So now, what has happened is the Padres have gone ahead and done everything that they can to apologize since Saturday.
Padres supports gay rights.
Well, I'm just going to read what they said according to specifically to this situation. We once again sincerely apologize to members of the San Diego Gay Men's Chorus, their families, and those who came out to support their Pride Night performance. The team said in a statement published in the LA Times, Padres organization is proud of our longstanding commitment to inclusion within both our sport and our community. We deeply regret that a mistake on our part has called this into question, but accept full responsibility. Now, they went ahead and they fired the DJ.
Good.
Very good.
Oh, well, hang on a second. Hang on. There's a part 2 to this. In another article on Toll Road, Andy Toll's website, the DJ, his name is DJ Artform. That's because, they can't just have a regular name, I suppose. He apologized. He's a lifelong baseball fan and player, had found his dream job at Padres Stadium, something that combined his love of music and baseball. And apparently his supervisor, who was supposed to be there to watch over him, wasn't there. I don't know why you would need a supervisor to, DJ, but oh, well, I'm not a DJ, so I don't know. He takes the accountability that he pressed the button. He calls it one of the worst nights of his life. He says, I failed to upload the correct anthem for the Gay Men's Choir, and I went to the first thing I had, which was from the preceding pre-recording from the night before, which was the lady. I'm kind of wondering who the lady was. I have a little bit of a curiosity about that. So he basically is the one who did it. He got fired. He immediately called the director of the Gay Men's Choir, spoke to them, gave him a personal apology, and then he released a statement on Facebook. My deepest apologies and sincere regret toward the entire San Diego Gay Men's Chorus, the LGBT community, for the incident that occurred during the national anthem. It was a very unfortunate mistake, but it was just that, an error. I in no way, shape, or form directed any type of hate, bad intent, or discrimination toward the chorus or anyone involved. The incident was not a representation of myself, San Diego, and its amazing baseball fans. I have felt the consequences of my mistake as my dream job has dissolved before my eyes, which does not take away that I am extremely sorry for the horrible mistake that occurred. Now, how do you feel about him getting fired?
Yeah.
I think he deserved to get fired, but I give him an A for effort for making an attempt to apologize like that.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
So you give him an A for
you know what I took away from that? I watched 100 men. Now, I have always thought that gay men are very, very handsome and good looking and wow, But when they went down the line of that 100 men, they were my age, not what you'd call great lookers. They were my age down to maybe 35 or 40 years old. There wasn't a young singer in the entire Gay Men's Chorus. And I noticed that.
I mean, I don't think that necessarily makes them unworthy of performance, though.
Yeah, but first of all, there's a big difference in the voice of a 30-year-old and a voice of an 80-year-old. And you can't tell me there isn't, because I'm the 80 and I know.
Well, back to the original point. Ace, that's so. Are you just being this way because of the fact that you're trying to? Are you being a contrarian to support your initial argument at the top of the show?
No, not really. I didn't feel that proud of my community. What are we, a bunch of old folks, No. What?
Well, no, of course we're not.
And it goes to the fact that we've talked about the difference in the young ones and the old ones. Young ones don't want to date the old ones. The old ones don't. They'd want to date the young ones, but they can't, et cetera, et cetera. There is that definite difference in the gay community, the men's community. We go by looks, et cetera,
Mm-hmm.
Not all of us.
No, not you, surely, Sean. No.
Of course not.
You're 50.
I mean, I try not to either, but unfortunately in our community, that seems to be one of the priorities, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to say that I'm going to give them an A+ for effort, because I think that, I don't know, my sister lived in San Diego for 15 years of my life, and I was down there all the time. They have a very, very thriving gay community. It's called the Hillcrest area.
Yeah.
And I don't see a lot of homophobia out there. Also, I don't know, I like the apology of the DJ. I don't think the DJ should be fired. I don't.
Well, when you make mistakes in business, you pay for the mistake. He made a mistake.
I don't think he should. Well, I think he should be fired, but I don't think that he should lose his career. Like, that's, to me, is bothersome. Like, everyone makes mistakes along the way.
Yeah, haven't we all? Yeah. And then we pay for them, and we pick up the point from where we left off and continue on.
Mm-hmm.
It was a mistake. He apologized for it. If were it me and I was running the San Diego Gay Men's Chorus, I would probably go to them and say, please don't fire this guy. I just, something about the firing doesn't sit well with me. So I'm going to give them an A for effort. I'll give them an A+ for effort myself if they hire the guy back. But I don't know. I just don't think it's worthy of destroying somebody's career. And when you're a DJ, that's you're usually only as good as your last set of jobs. That kind of thing could I don't know, it could ruin somebody.
Could make or break someone, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you'd find out whether he's an angel or an asshole or whatever.
And then Dan Brown can write a book about it.
Yes.
By the way, anybody who's listening, Dan Brown is the guy who wrote the Da Vinci Code, and he wrote a book called Angels and Demons. And I love those books, so I'm not slamming Dan Brown, just so you know.
No, he's an excellent writer. Holy cow.
Oh, totally.
I heard another one of my TRMS things. You know, what do you call those things? The Rachel Maddow show, TRMS. I heard a doctor situation where it said you may have IBS plus D. And I thought, holy mackerel, what in the hell is that? IBS plus D. And it turns out it's irritable bowel syndrome plus diarrhea. Oh, God.
Charming.
IBS plus D. Is it just me and my age group that sees an awful lot on television these days, whether it's on regular channels or the other stuff, cable? There are so many pharmaceutical companies advertising that, got to try this pill. Ask your doctor about it. Da, da, da. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. They're literally urging us as patients to go to our doctors and say, do I need an aspirin? Oh, yes, you do. Here's your prescription. This is getting to me. I don't know if it's just my generation or it's yours, Sean, or yours, Donny, but there's just way too much of that on television. But they got to make their money, and they're the biggies, pharmaceuticals. Ooh, shush.
I don't know about you, Donny, but I just kind of tune it out anymore.
I know, I do too.
Yeah.
I hope that we do. Yeah.
Well, Donny probably watches TV on his computer, so maybe you don't get as much of that.
No, I watch TV on the television screen as well. I just, whenever commercials come on, I'm just off doing something else. Honestly, I notice more commercials about like food. But then again, I love food, so I tend to focus on those.
I'm glad for the ones that go on now. At least the men are dieting and getting rid of their little beer bellies and such, because too many people have diabetes. Oh my God, too many. And so they're taking off the weight. In women, yeah, you expect them to diet because they got to look beautiful for the men, but and they've been dieting for centuries. But now the men are dieting. Before the diet, men used to wear girdles.
They still do.
Yeah.
They're called man spanks.
Oh, is that it?
Oh, my God.
I don't wear them, but I remember when my husband, Ace, you remember this, and Donny, you might know of it if you obsessively trolled my Facebook page, but my husband and our group of friends in California, the only time they would ever do drag is during Halloween. And they would go out as, like, one year, remember Ace, they went out as the Disney princesses.
Yes.
And the next year was the Disney villains. But they all get together and they get these fucking man spanks. And they're like, they squeeze into these things. I'm like, oh my God. So yes, men do wear girdles, but do you, Ace? I remember when these commercials, these drug commercials, started coming on back in like the 80s.
Yeah,
and you didn't know what they were for. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
you'd be watching a commercial and you'd be like, "Oh, try Perceiva. It does, it's." But make sure that you tell your doctor that you have these, it'll have these side effect symptoms inside. And be like, what the fuck was it for? You never said what it was for to begin with. So, kind of confused me.
I've got diarrhea and my bowels are acting up, so I may have IBS plus D. Oh my God. Okay.
Both of them?
Maybe not, though.
I remember when we used to just call that the shits, or the trots, or the swords.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Or the Hershey's, as my husband calls it, and yeah, lovely.
I got to ask you both a question. What in the last century, the 20th century, do you think that we had a plague in that century?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
What was it?
It was AIDS.
Yeah.
AIDS, the plague of the 20th century, which is still going on, as we know, around the world. A plague, a real plague. And it started in the century when we all were alive. Oh, my God. And yet I think that one of the biggest problems that the 20th century produced, I don't know how to call it, what to even call it, but I think that one of the worst things that happened to humanity in the 20th century was not AIDS, but the introduction that I got in the mail one time, and it says, "It's free for you, a Visa, Bank of America credit card." And the credit card was introduced in the 20th century. It's going to be just one hell of a problem that's going to continue on now into this century as well, because credit cards have ruined more lives than AIDS ever will, probably.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, but...
Well, you don't have to say it.
Well, it's ruining lives just in a different way, though.
Yeah, economically.
But can economics and, like, health be compared on that level, though? That's my question.
Believe me, if your credit cards are up to shit creek without a paddle, and you're trying to go with them, your health is going to be involved also.
But we have so many escape hatches for people who are in those scenarios. There's bankruptcy, there's short sales on houses, there's foreclosure.
There's whiskey.
People walk away from monumental debt every day, all the time.
And whiskey. That'll do it.
Speaking of debt, now that I've graduated, I am further in debt than I was before.
Well, yay for graduation, boo for debt.
Right.
You'll be 70 years old before you get that paid off, Donny.
This is, believe me, I know. And it's really funny, but since we've been talking about like advertisements and, annoying recurring things, as soon as I graduated, within this, like the next day, I started getting tons and tons of phone calls about student loans, student loan forgiveness, methods to pay student loans. And I'm just like, what is going on?
Yeah,
like these people, these people never call. Like, how do I know that these are reliable people? And
we got there through their credit card system.
Yeah. And the reason why I'm making this point is I think my generation is particularly susceptible to these types of, I would arguably call them scams.
Are they like loan consolidation companies?
See, the thing is, in the phone calls, they're not specific about who they are.
Of course.
At all.
And
it could be a Martian calling for all I know.
And well, what service were they offering?
Student loan forgiveness.
What is that? I'm sorry, I don't know what that is.
It's where they have programs, federal programs now, where some people become eligible for the federal government forgiving their student loan debt, so they don't have to pay off their debt. Which to me, honestly, it doesn't sit well with me, because in my eyes, I went to school, I chose to go, I should pay off my student loans. That's just my thoughts, though. But I don't know, maybe it's because I don't understand how it works entirely. I don't know.
Ace, tell me if you're thinking this too. I'm thinking, what's in it for them?
Oh, they got to make money.
Yeah, they're not making those phone calls for free.
No.
And putting out all that mail and that. So, what? Yeah. It is pretty shark-like too, Donny, that they're calling you the very next day after you graduate.
Yeah, and I'm getting 5 or 6 calls a day.
That's the internet age. Yes. Right now, they've got all the information on us from the time that we're born till now, and they'll have a little thing up there. Okay, when Donny Winter graduates, here's the day of his graduation. Okay, let's get on it right away.
When Donny Winter graduates, let's annoy the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
They have a little They have a Donny Winter tickler file.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
On the most annoying parts of when he will be the most annoyed by certain things. His schedule of annoyance.
I also, we closed the last show with a real quickie. If Trump wins, which is an entire possibility, guys, I know you're probably both Democrats and such, but there is a possibility that Donald Trump could win the presidency. As frightening as that may be to you, I say, as a Republican, he probably could, yeah, because the Democrats aren't going to get off their ass and vote. They never do. And the young ones, they're about as trustworthy a voter as the man in the moon coming down and voting. So I say that it's entirely possible. Now, if Trump does win, I've got this question. When, and I'd like our listeners to tell us when this could possibly happen, the date and time. When do impeachment proceedings begin? if he wins.
I heard that giggle in your voice. I heard that little giggle that you did. Did you hear that giggle too, Donny?
I definitely heard a giggle.
Yes.
Well, I think that if he does win, I think there's a possibility for impeachment proceedings to start.
Well, you got to fuck up first before they try to impeach you.
Well, that's assuming that he hasn't already.
I mean, they're not going to impeach him like they send Donny, debt consolidation notices. You have to go in there and be like, you have to have the status for a little while.
Or like,
here is the thing. He has already fucked up multiple times, and nobody seems to care. That's what concerns me. So that tells me that even if he gets elected as president, who is going to even bother? Like, I guess that's my question.
Okay.
Can I make a nice mention about something going on in politics right now, since we rip it apart every time? Let's congratulate the first confirmed openly gay Army Secretary, Eric Fanning. He is confirmed by the Senate as the U.S.'s first openly gay Secretary of the Army. He previously served as Special Assistant to Defense Secretary Ash Carter and held several leadership roles in the Air Force and Navy departments. They put a little stall on his confirmation, and that was because there was a rumor from Senator Pat Roberts from Kansas that there might be prisoners transferred from Guantanamo Bay over to the States. Even John McCain said that was kind of bullshit and we needed to move on. So we now have a gay Army Secretary. We went from 5 years ago having Don't Ask, Don't Tell be completely annihilated and gotten rid of, and now this happens. Of course, now people are saying that the next, as you said, Ace, was there's transgender issues going on in the Army. So that's our new battle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're on our way, and this song says, where are we going? Where are we going? What are we going to do? We're on our way to somewhere, the three of us and you. And folks, that's the way it is. The three of us and you listening. We are on our way. But we've got a long ways to go. And we have to be willing to face reality, face anything in debate, and take a hit and give a hit, every once in a while. And maybe we'll change one mind, maybe we'll change no minds, maybe a mind will change ours. Whatever happens, that is life. We are what we have been becoming, and we must first learn to know what another person is remembering, to know where he is really or she is really coming from and how they got to be to where they are today. So, folks, we're at the end of another show, number 15 in the can, so to speak, in old Hollywood talk. It's in the can. Now, when you say it's in the can, I think of the restroom. Okay, some of these shows should be. Anyway.
More bathroom humor.
Yep. Little bathroom humor. Yep.
Well, shit.
Folks, I hope that you're taking care of yourself. And no more of that IBS plus D. Okay. And do watch the TRMS, even though we have no idea what the fuck it stands for. It's a good show. There's a good woman on it. We've got some real good women reporters in Rachel Maddow and Kelly from Fox. Two of them, really good. Okay, folks, take care of yourself. We love you. And just remember, there is so much good in the worst of us and so much bad in the best of us, it is hard to tell which of us ought to reform the rest of us. So good night, Sean. And good night, Donny. And without whom we wouldn't have a show. Good night, Spider-Man.